Hi kids. What this video is going to do is this is a quick video to help you understand what it means to graph equations. Now when I go over this information, okay, we're going to be talking about stuff that you'll be doing in topic 8.5, all right? Now this is background information that I'm going to provide you with to kind of help you understand what is going on in the book. The book does a very good job of explaining, but this information will just enrich you a little bit more. Okay? So anyways, here's some basics about graphing equations. Now notice that we are using the word graphing and equation. We know what graphing is because we have already done that on the coordinate plane, and we know what equations are because we've gone over equations already. Just remember that an equation means that you are coming up with some value through operations and you will get an equal sign in there. When you graph an equation, you use an equation such as y equals x plus 2 to find values to put on a coordinate plane. So when you are graphing an equation, basically all you're doing is using an equation, okay, to come up with some values, an x and y value, that you can put on a coordinate plane. Okay, so our goal is then to use an equation such as that to find coordinates that you can then plot on a coordinate plane. All right, so that's what we mean when we say we're going to graph an equation. Something else to remember is that many times you will want to make a t-table in order to identify the x and the y values. So after you have established your equation based on the situation, you're going to want to make a t-table. Simple basic t-table such as this one over here will usually do the job for you, okay? A lot of people like to write the equation up above. It really just depends on how you want to set it up and how your teachers expect you to. The other thing is that you can then use the equation to find your x value and your y values to graph, okay? So basically when you are graphing an equation, really what you're doing is you're just taking an equation and you're going to use it to find an x and a y value. You'll organize those x and y values in a t-table, and then what you will do is you will put those on your coordinate plane as a graph. All right? So anyways, what does that actually look like? So here's some basic equations for you. You know, they have your y value, and this represents your x value. So when we create our equation, this is our y value, and this is how we go. This is our x value. And so when we perform this mathematical procedure or procedures in here, it will tell us what y is, okay? So anyways, here we go. Let's go over a few of these. Now, one word of advice, okay? If we want to graph this equation, okay, we have to come up with some x values. X is a variable right now, so we could use any x values we want. It's helpful to look at the situation, the operation, and kind of use numbers that wouldn't cause extreme numbers over here in your table. So one of the things that I like to do is I'm going to say, okay, this is a basic addition process. So I'm going to make x value. I'm going to use 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I can keep going on and on. All right, and so now we know the value of x, so we can plug x in there where the variable is, and we can do 0, so it would be 0 plus 3. 0 plus 3 equals 3. That 3 is our y value, so we have a value of 3. If we were to go on and plug in 2 at 1, if we say 1 is our x value and we put 1 here, 1 plus 3 is 4. So our y value would be 4. If we put 2 in there, it would be 2 plus 3 equals 5. So our y value would be 5. If we put 3 in there, 3 plus 3 is 6. Okay? And we would continue to do that. Now, the beauty of this is these, now that we have created values for x, we're able to establish a y value. These then become the numbers for our coordinate. So this would be the ordered pair of 0, 3. Okay? This would be the ordered pair of 1, 4. This would be the ordered pair of 2, 5. All right? So that's how you read those as, ordered pairs. Okay? So I'm going to get those out of there, and let's see about graphing them. Okay? So far, we've taken an equation. We've created some possible values of x. We've applied them to the equation to get the value of y. So now we have our ordered pairs that we can plot. Okay? So the first one we're going to plot is the ordered pair of 0, 3. Well, we started in the origin, and we're not going to go left or right, and we're going to stay on the y-axis because our x value is 0, and we're going to go right up to 3, and we can plot our point. Then we have a value of x, a value of 4, a value of x is 1, a value of y is 4. That is our ordered pair, so it is 1, 4, so we will come over positive 1, positive 4. Now at this point, you begin to see that you are creating a line here. That's what we mean by a linear equation. Now, in order to, any 2 points are going to make a line, so we have to have at least 3 points in order to decide if this is actually linear. I always tell the kids it's better to go with 4. All right? So our next ordered pair will be 2, 5 that we graph. So we're going to come over 2 and up to 5. And you can see that we are continuing our line. Then we have 3, 6. 3, 6. Now, at this point, you begin to realize that you are forming a straight line. So I'll come up here, and I'll grab the line, and we'll make it a nice, bold blue. And so we're ready to go and draw our line. And as it comes up, we will go straight on up like that. And you can see how the line is connecting the dots. Okay? Now, what's interesting about that line is if we take it and we extend it down even further, we go into the negatives. All right? But for now, let's leave our line just the way it is. Let's take a look at our unfilled in spots on the table. Now, if you look at the line, it is actually falling on an intersection here and falling on an intersection there and there. And so we could actually take this point and say, oh, that is the ordered pair of 4, 7. The ordered pair of 4, 7. And now look at this. If we have 4 as our x value, 4 plus 3 equals 7. That's the point we wanted. Look at the 5 here. We know that 5, if we plug 5 in there, it will give us a certain values. But if we come over here and we say, okay, what's my x value? X value of 5, and I go up till I hit my linear equation, my graph, you'll see that 8 is over there. So I come over 5. If I come over my x value of 5, and I go up till I hit my line, and then I come over, I'll see that I have y value of 8. And if we actually plug this into the equation, 5 plus 3 equals 8, and so it works, right? So you can actually take points from here and fill in your table. You could create a table from these points and then create an equation. So you can actually reverse the process to come up with your equation. Now, I'm going to show you the other one, okay, just to help you understand how you can use other operations. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we have here. in this equation, now we're going to use this second equation. In this equation, we have y equals x minus 2. Well, in this case, you can certainly plug in 0 again, but when you have x, the value of 0, you're going to end up 0 take away 2 with a negative number there. And that's okay because y can be negative. It's just going to put you in the quadrant, either quadrant 3 or 2, depending on the x or y value. But in this case, you know that it's going to put you down into quadrant 3. All right? So anyway, so let's go with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can see, and we'll see what happens. All right? So if we have a value of 0, we end up with negative 2. If we have an x value of 1, 1 minus 2 is negative 1. 2 as an x value, 2 minus 2 equals 0. And then we have 3. 3 minus 2 equals 1. 4 minus 2 equals 2. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so we should be able to start creating another line. So let's graph these points, okay? So we have 0, negative 2. 0, negative 2 would be right there. That is 0, negative 2. Then we have the ordered pair of positive 1, negative 1. Positive 1, negative 1. And again, you can see where we have that same pattern forming up. 2, 0. So now we're going to come over 2, but we're going to remain on the x-axis because we have 0 as our y value. Then we have 3, 1, so we come over 3, 1. 4, 2. Graph the ordered pair 4, 2. 4, 2. So we come over 4 and up to 2. And then when we look at that, you can see where once again we've created a line that goes at the same angle as that one. So if we draw our line in there, give it a little bit different color this time. Let's go with bold purple. See how that turns out. Got it? And we take that and we draw it straight up through there. There you go. You can see how we have a linear equation, and because we had a x value that created a negative y value, that puts us down here into the negatives, okay? So we ended up in negative. We could end up with a point in the quadrant 4 and a point in quadrant 3. Now we could actually continue this and we could say, okay, well, what is this point right here? And we could say, all right, well, if I come over 7, that is 7, and then I come over 7, up, and that's 5, that is the point of 7, 5. And then if I continue my chart here, I could confirm that that point does fall on my equations graph. So I could plug 5, 6, and 7 here, and I could actually do the math. 5 minus 2 is 3. So if I go to 5, 3, I should land on my graph. 5, 3, and there we are. 6 minus 2 is 4. 6, 4. I found them. Now we're after our target. 7 minus 2 is 5. 7, 5. And I do find my point. So this is kind of neat because this is how we graph points, and this is how we can put them on our table. And we can use this to make a table and find an equation, or we can use an equation to make a table and graph. So we can go in either direction there. All right, so anyways, here are some other ones that you might want to practice and try on your own as well. All right?